And we are back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Yet another week in Skyhawk Athletics to talk about. Another exciting week as well. First up, golf is going to be at Pine Tree Intercollegiate at Pine Tree Country Club in Kennesaw, Georgia. That is today and then also tomorrow, Tuesday. Soccer will be at Western Illinois at 3 p.m. on Thursday on ESPN+. And then they will have their final OVC road game in the regular season. That will be at Eastern Illinois at 1 p.m. on Sunday, ESPN+. Then after that, Senior Day, and that'll be the next Sunday. Cross country at the Angel Mounds Invitational in Evansville, Indiana. Men at 9 a.m., that'll be an 8K, and then the women at 9:50, a 6K for them. Equestrian will be at home. They're going to play up against UC Davis at 10 a.m. on Friday, and then Oklahoma State at noon on Saturday. Volleyball will be at home against Lindenwood, one of the best teams in the OVC. That'll be at 6 p.m. on Friday on ESPN+, and then at 2 p.m. on Saturday against the Lions, also on ESPN+. Softball, they've got some fall exhibitions coming up. They've got Shawnee Community College at noon on Saturday, Three Rivers Community College at 2:30 on Saturday, Northeast Mississippi Community College at noon on Sunday, and then Itawamba Community College on Sunday as well for the softball team. And then Rifle will go up against Morehead State. That one will be at home right here in Martin, Tennessee on Saturday. Football on their bye week. Yep. Chris? Again, bye week is always a great time for football. Of course, that one gets so much attention from us in terms of broadcasting and then prep throughout the week. So this is a good week for us where we get to be relaxed, but there's so much else going on that we've still got to be 2 pages, 2 pages of this week in Skyhawk Athletics. That's a new record.
Yeah, no, it is a lot, and it's a great time of year. I mean, the temperature's finally starting to get a little bit cooler. Fall break on campus, so I'm excited. And the football team, truly, I think they're going to love this opportunity to get a weekend off because of Coach Simpson talked about the other day, this little nagging injuries, you get a chance, but you also get to work on a lot of things you wouldn't normally get to work on.
Well, my knee was hurting from the bus ride back, so hopefully we get to work on that.
So you get a break.
I might need to call Bart. Bart, my knee's hurting. Oh, yeah. So we'll take a break. When we come back, Alex Boggis, Associate Athletic Director for External Operations, will join us right here on Skyhawk Sports Talk in Zaxby's.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory here with Chris Brinkley. And joining us now, our co-worker and Associate Athletic Director for External Operations, Alex Boggis. And Chris, you said you were really looking forward to this one today.
I'm excited.
It's been a long time since me and you've been on the headset together. So.
No, you really get to know. Tom Britt talked about it when he was inducted in the Hall of Fame, but when you travel with someone, you know someone if you live with them or if you travel with them. And in our job, sometimes it's both.
But I'm not going to pull a Tom, and we're not going to tell stories, right?
No promises.
Right.
No promises. Right. Yeah. So Alex joined the athletic staff in 2012 and now on the administrative staff and was the program's assistant sports information director, still covering football, but covered softball and women's basketball here in this past sports season. We'll go into it now, just external operations. What is that? What are you doing here in this new role?
It's still a moving target. I just started this job kind of this summer, and it's been, I think, officially happened just this month, but just trying to do some different things, increase our game day atmosphere a little bit, clean up some things script-wise, make sure we're playing the right music at the right times at football games, and just trying to clean some things up. Not that it was done wrong, just that we could be more efficient with some of the things we did, and I'm hoping that's what we're doing. That's the moving target every week, is just make that game just a little bit better than the last and make people just a little bit more organized, because I feel when people know things are coming, little things like the script, I have them all numbered. And if we miss 45, we can push to 63. And it's things like that we can communicate in real time, hit with, stay connected with band cheer and us in the press box. And it's a totally different role than what I've done for the last couple of years, but I'm excited about it and just trying to figure it out and talking to different people and seeing what's important to them and trying to hit those goals. So.
And Alex, like any job, when you're a fan, you just watch the game and it looks pretty simple. And it's almost like being a chef here at Zaxby's. I mean, you go back to the kitchen, it's a much different experience than it is out here. But you were lucky enough to work in to be a manager with the basketball team, then work in athletics and sports information. But so you see all that happens. But there are so many moving parts with so many people that are involved behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. I have a lot of sympathy or understanding of a lot of different roles because I've done a lot of things here. I started as a basketball manager, and so I've washed people's clothes. I've cleaned up towels. I've cleaned up accidents. There's things that I've done, and I don't mind doing that. So then you can look at it and be empathetic of other people. I look at the managers. I know their job's hard. I know the filmers' jobs are hard. So sometimes there's some things that we need to do that, okay, as a game, we need this to happen. But I understand you have a role too, and I think it helps to be able to understand that and be working with people and try to be cohabitate correctly. And sometimes people want to come in and cause a lot of ripples to cause change, but I feel like if we're all pushing towards the same goal, that's important. And I always used to say I was from Illinois. That was where I grew up. But I mean, I've been here since 2007, so this is home, and I've done a lot of different roles, and I'm excited to try another one.
And you were this close to ending up in Southern Illinois, right?
Yeah, Southern Illinois.
You could be a salute.
I thought I'd go to SEMO. I don't say that much anymore, but I was real close to being a Saluki. That's how I grew up. I was a big fan during their basketball heyday, and so it's fun to go back there sometimes, but I'm definitely proud to be a Skyhawk for sure.
Yeah.
And got here and graduated in 2011. I remember the exact moment for me when I became, because I grew up an Auburn fan. My parents graduated from there, but I know the exact moment that I became a UT Martin fan. Truly, still, love to support mom and Auburn as well. But the moment where I became a UT Martin fan was the OVC tournament my freshman year. And for you, being a part of a team and obviously big Southern Illinois fan growing up, when was that moment for you? They were like, I love this place and I truly love these athletic teams and this program.
The first time I realized I was not in Pinckneyville, Illinois anymore was when we played Derrick Rose our first game of the year against Memphis. Yeah. And, we had a special player, Lester Hudson, and, I mean, he was right on par with that. But, I mean, you see John Calipari, you see his family. One of our baseball players dated his daughter, so we're like, oh, that's strange, But
And Sybil Shepherd was there. That probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot. I mean, you have to be really old to know Sybil Shepherd. But
seeing Derrick Rose play that time, you're like, this isn't Kansas anymore, boys.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say this, Lester outplayed Derrick Rose.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
With UT Martin literally cut in his hair, you know.
And Lester basically told us he was going to outplay Derrick Rose, and he did.
Yeah,
he did.
He had like 35 points or something like that in his Division I debut. But first time I'm like, I was always invested, but that championship run we had in 08-09 was a lot of fun. We went down to Miami. We had that big tournament win, and Chris was there. And, that was the first time you're like, dang, like we could be legit. And then Coach Campbell at the time always said, if you win all your games at home and split on the road, you're going to win a conference title. And we pretty much did that. We beat Moorhead at home, and Kenneth Fareed was there. And I think he was a sophomore at the time because we were the same age. And it was a really cool moment to be able to win that title, cut down some nets, and then that made it special 15 years after that with Coach Ritter last year. Yeah. For me, there was a little bit more investment because it was exciting and it hadn't happened so long. And to be able to see our men's team take that step that our women have been doing, football has been doing, is really fun to see.
And what happened in that time period is that it was the first time UT Martin was really on the national stage because Lester got the quadruple double. Then there's the article in Sports Illustrated. And then as we tour around the OVC, we have NBA scouts that are there, and you have national magazines and publications. And I guess behind the scenes, you were helping arrange some of that or making sure Lester got from point A to point B.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I wasn't in the media realm at all, but my job was, I rebound 500 shots a game for Lester. He was the dude that was always in the gym the latest, and we always had a joke. Like, I never grew up with a ton of money or anything like that, but I always wear watches. I still do. And so a lot of my watches were Walmart specials, and turned my wrist green. We went to Las Vegas. I bought a nice fancy-looking watch, definitely fake. Get to practice, turn my watch.
Did you buy it in Vegas?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think the Mirage. And so I bought it there, and not off a guy off the street, but I bought it in a store. And so I take off my watch to do passing drills. Well, it turned my wrist green. So Lester always gave me crap, saying, man, we got that cheap stuff and whatever. I said, all right, well, when you make it, you buy me a watch. And he joked about it. He said, all right, I got you. So years went by, and, Lester left and went to the NBA, made some money, went to China, made more money. And every time I'd see him, he'd be like, you still got that watch? I said, no, but I'm waiting on mine. And so, but yeah, a couple times I saw him, he's like, yeah, I'll get you the G-Shock, I'll get you this, For me, I'm like, dang, that's an expensive watch, whatever. And then one day he texted me and said, hey, I got you. And so I get it in the mail like a week later. I get a Lucien Picard gold-plated watch. I looked it up. I mean, it's quite expensive. I've never worn it. It's sitting in my drawer in my desk. But he was a man of his word. And, I appreciated that. And that's, I saw Lester came back for when we won the title this year. And it's just good to see him. And he's, he gave a hug to my mom and different things like that. And so those are memories that are always exciting. But, yeah, I got rid of that green watch. Doesn't tear my wrist green anymore. And Lester came through.
That was in the can. It's no longer being used. Yeah. So then moved up to being a sports information director and got your master's from here as well. Statted lots of events at UT Martin, but also 2014, the NCAA Women's Basketball Final Four.
Yeah.
And talk about what goes into statting, because Chris and I as broadcasters and then fans, we just kind of look at stuff and we're like, oh, well, this person had this, that, and the other. But, I mean, I've seen it in baseball with Ryan Rickman and you stat in softball too. There is so much that goes into about, okay, who got that rebound? Is that an assist? Is that not an assist? And all the things that go into that. So talk about that part of the job.
I mean,
Sure.
I would want to say that I actually statted. When I started in the 90s, I was working with Lee Wilmot, and there was a 2-person stat crew. And, oh, my goodness, my head was spinning because I never imagined how complicated it was. But beyond your ability to do that, you and Ryan Rickman have statted the Women's Final Four, which was a big deal, and the OVC tournament for years and years. Now, go ahead. I just wanted to give you the
I've done like
credit.
13 OVC basketball tournaments, I think.
Yep.
We did the Final Four. I've done 1 or 2 men's NCAA tournaments. I've been the official statter for the last, I think, 8 softball championships. I've done several soccer ones here. But, yeah, it's different,
It's tedious.
especially stat crew. Stat crew is way different. Now it's like, hey, jumper 5, assist 3. Like, it's a lot easier. But back in the day when we started, a lot of my job was I would call or write. In our code, like, just what a random code would sound like is J42, assist 35, RD 13, assist 3, turnover 13, steal 5. Like,
it sounded like a foreign language.
Yeah,
it was like an
it was all
auctioneer
code, and
with
that
a
was
foreign
how
language.
we went fast. And
Yeah.
so for a while, I kept from that Final Four, I would keep my stat panels that I would write in our code that we use as backup. But, yeah, it's different. We stat a lot of games.
And especially
put in
at
a
the
lot of
level
hours,
you've been, it's extremely important. And now with video, I mean, I guess it helps you to go back in case. But at the same time, other teams are constantly double-checking to make sure you got everything perfect.
Like, for prime example, for football games, offense is real easy. So we know Patrick Smith's going to run it up the gut for a 30-yard touchdown. It's pretty cut and dry. On defense, it is completely based off what you see. Sometimes we don't see it all. So I've gotten to the point where sometimes after a game, I'll have to go watch the video and make sure, okay, did we get that tackle right? Guys are going to let me know if it's not, but I'm going to verify that. So, because a lot of times with our eyes, you're going to see, we see the first hit, we see the fourth hit. We may not go get the second one.
Right.
So we try to find that. If it's a dog pile of 5 people, you pretty much just got to pick 2.
Yeah.
You're going to upset the other 3.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is sometimes. But we do the best to make it as accurate as possible. And sometimes your assisted tackle, some guys like, I brought him down all the way.
Yeah.
But the other one's like, I wanted that half
you didn't.
tackle. Yeah, so.
And you always know the players that are paying attention because they tell you.
I do. Yeah.
We're going to leave them nameless,
Yeah.
but they are out there. So then moving up to just like sports information wise, and I mean, there's so much that goes on in terms of writing articles and then doing all the stats after the games, and it is a lot of work. How do you try to balance all of that? Because I think for me, it being my first year last year, it was a lot. But for you over time, how have you gotten to the point where I've got this going right now, but I'm shutting it off right here, and then I'm going to go spend time with my family and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, before I had kids, I would work a lot all the time because I felt like it had to always be done right then. When I had my first son, he just turned 7, I decided, okay, when I'm picking him up from daycare, I'm going home. And I try not to take my computer home unless I absolutely have something I have to write that night. Sometimes there are things that happen, but it's all about prioritizing. I used to work on game notes all day Sunday for football, so I would have them done on Monday. But why? Mm-hmm. It got to the point where I'm not playing catch with my son. I'm not doing this, and it's like I'm spending 10 hours working on Sunday after working all day Saturday too. We do the same thing the football team does, but we drive ourselves. So, we're driving ourselves back at 2:30 in the morning and getting up and doing soccer the next day. So it's just about trying to find ways to realize that not everything has to be done right now. It can be done tomorrow, but you prioritize what is here. But, Joe LaFaro gave me a chance at this job. I appreciate that. Ryan Rickman has been my best friend but mentor. He's taught me so many things that, I was just a sports fan that learned to do this. But it's important to listen to the people that know what they do technically, because I may not be the best writer, but I've learned to do it. There's different ways to write the number 8, and people don't realize that. And so it's just it's a lot of practice, but it's something I love to do.
And what's really been weird is in the 90s, after a game, Davis, we would literally call AP in Nashville, and I would read the box score to a person on a phone in Nashville and then send a fax. And then someone would write a story, and you'd fax them the story, and then you're kind of done. It's up to the newspaper to print it. It's up to the other stat people to actually infiltrate the stats. Now it never ends because of social media. You are the source.
Yeah.
So you're at work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
And what's funny is the guys are like, "Oh, ESPN had me at this." No, I did.
Yeah.
No, we supply all that information, all the photos that come out from our social media accounts. Someone on our staff, possibly me, took them. Everything that's written, we come out. Everything on our website, everything on social media. All that stuff is something someone in our office did, whether it's Davis or Ryan or Mac with video, ESPN Plus Productions. All that takes a lot of hands, and it's a lot of hours, and we love what we do, but there's only so many hours in a day too. So, but it's important to understand where we are, try to do the things that make sense. We don't have to always keep up with the Joneses that, another program bigger than us may have 5 people working football. We have 1. So what can we do to do everything we can without hurting or shorting our kids? But there's also a limit to what we can do.
Yeah, and you guys do a great job being resourceful and efficient.
Well, thank you.
And you have to be.
It's just those two. That's it. I'm still just crawling along. I'm like, what's going on right now? Just making way. But no, Alex, we want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thankless job of SID, we want to say publicly, and of course, I hope everyone who watches this finds Alex, finds Ryan, and says thank you, because they do everything for these kids, and they go above and beyond for them. So thank you, Alex.
Appreciate it, guys.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have Aubrey Malone joining us from UT Martin Equestrian. Keep it right here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Now joining us from the UT Martin Equestrian team, student-athlete Aubrey Malone, a senior from Fayetteville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for joining us on your fall break.
Yeah,
we greatly
thanks for having
appreciate
me.
it, Aubrey. So did you all practice this morning? I know this is normally...
They have been practicing this morning. My practice is at 2. So.
Okay. All right. So we didn't get her in trouble with Coach. We got her out at a good time here. Fits the schedule. Love it. So talk about first your 4th year on the team, your first weekend down in South Dakota. How did that go for you all?
South Dakota was really fun. It was my first time going without 4 feet of snow on the ground, so it was nice to see the grass in South Dakota. But we had a good trip. It was a tough loss against Fresno by 1, but we came back pretty hard against South Dakota. So that was incredible.
When you first go somewhere else to another facility, what do you notice? What do you look for?
Well, we kind of pay attention to the dirt in the arena and is it good? Is it bad? But there's
What's
really
the
not
difference?
much
What's
you can
good
do about
dirt and bad dirt? Yeah.
So really sticky, kind of muddy is not good.
Yeah.
Clumpy, not good. But soft and deep. I do the reining, so that's what we look for, softer, deeper dirt, but not too deep. And then they look for different things, in the jumping. They want it really deep and kind of heavier than we do. So that's kind of off topic.
So that's the first thing you're looking at when you walk in the door.
Yeah. But there's not much we can do about it. It's just kind of something we're like, oh, the dirt's good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good day.
Listen, off topics is what we live off of on this
That's
podcast.
right.
So we're good. So went to Lincoln County High School, and your sister actually went to UT Martin Bailey. And talk about the decision to come here and be a Skyhawk.
So my brother goes here now too. He's a sophomore, so we've all went here. But I was in high school, I'm not going anywhere in Tennessee. I like to travel a lot and I like to be out west. So I just applied to Martin as to make my parents happy kind of thing, and my advisor at school. And then December of my senior year, I was like, okay, I guess I'll do equestrian. Like, I didn't really want to ride in school. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But then I thought about it, and I said, well, it would be cool. We'll just reach out to Coach and see if, like, she has any. Because, I mean, it's my senior year. Like, there's not going to be any spots open. So I sent her an email. She was like, yeah, we have room. You know, did a couple of Zoom calls, and now we're here. And I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. I'm really happy with the decision I made.
In 4 years, I mean, it goes by like that, but it's a long journey. What have you learned in this journey here at UT Martin?
Well, my first 2 years, my class, the senior class now, there's 7 of us. We call us the solid 7 because none of us have ever, like, left the team or anything yet. So we've been here since the beginning. We did a lot of maturing and growing our freshman and sophomore year, and all of us are in some type of leadership position now. This is my second year as team captain, or as one of the team captains. So I can't even write a paper about everything that I've learned off of equestrian, and not academic-wise, just like good life things.
What's that bond like with those 7, with your 7?
It's hard to describe, you know. We go through our ups and downs, but we get together. We got together the past couple of weekends and have kind of planned and talked about, like, first of all, how was it our senior year? What are we going to do after this? And it's going to be hard to leave the team because we're like, what are we going to do? What are they going to do when we're gone? But everything moves on after we're not here, and it did with the people before us that thought the same thing. So,
can I give you old people advice?
Yeah, go ahead.
Make sure, and maybe you're the leader in this, but you 7 should get together every couple of years from now on. But you have to make an effort, or it'll just kind of slip away, and you'll look up and you'll be 20 years from now, and you will not have seen each other for a long time. So, because it is something special, because there's a bond that you have that you probably have with no one else on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, the solid
if you
center
like
reunion.
them. If you like
no,
them.
I do. No, there has been no fist fighting or any fighting.
Yeah. But sometimes it's the dissension that makes you stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's happened before. But our first trip that we do will definitely be, we're not doing anything. That's what it's going to be. We just go to the beach or something. Just sit.
No, you make a good point, because when all of you are together, like, you have a lot of responsibility, so it's kind of stressful, right?
Yeah, well, I told Coach, we had our beginning of the year meetings, and we're talking about, like, after college, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to think about after I graduate. Like, there's too much going on, all the time here, and being captain, there's just always running through my mind.
Major in mass media and strategic communications, fellow communications major with Chris and I. So that's why we brought you on. I asked, all right, Coach, who's a mass media and strategic comm major? And she's like, Aubrey. Oh, okay. That's who we want. That's who we want on the show. But what do you want to do with that after you graduate?
So right now I'm looking at getting my master's in ag communications, either at OSU or Texas Tech. I have a couple of visits planned in November after off season. Squeeze that in before Thanksgiving, but that's what I want to do right now. And
what is ag communication? What is that exactly?
Okay, well, I mean, it's just not mass communications. I looked in getting my master's in that, but I think I have more of a niche in the livestock and equine industry.
Absolutely.
So that's for sure what I want to. I see myself staying in the equine industry, and whether that be with big breed or show associations, and kind of running the PR side of that. Which I do. I go to Oklahoma City every summer and work a big horse show out there, and on the media team for that this past summer. So it's opened up a lot of opportunities.
No doubt, you have a huge advantage because you know it like the back of your hand.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's when I was interviewing with the mass stuff. I was like, there's like all of you guys have a good niche over here, but mine's not with that.
But it may be more opportunity for you just
this
because
is true.
of that.
This is very true.
Yeah.
3 straight home meets coming up. You've got 2 this week with UC Davis and Oklahoma State. What are some of you all's goals for this meet and just for the rest of the season in general?
So we have a big young class. We have 12 freshmen, and then 15 sophomores, I believe. And so getting everybody on their toes for this doubleheader, and all 3 of these meets are pretty big schools. So it's not like, we don't ever like to say we can kind of sit back and take it easier, because that's never the case. But on these, we have to really be on our toes. So getting the preparation, like we're starting today with prepping the ag pav, and like our meet plan goes from today till the end of Saturday. It's 21 pages long. So getting prepared for that, and then getting the girls in a good mental state. You know, it was nice to have a good weekend and to have these 2 days to get ready for that. We have some alumni coming into town this weekend and next weekend, so that'll be really good. And as far as with our athletically out there, we've done everything that we can. And so now it's just, I told the girls in South Dakota after we lost to Fresno, I said, it's time to put your heels in the dirt and keep your head up. And we've got to keep going on forward. So.
Literally, put your heels in the good dirt.
Yeah, in the good
Yeah,
dirt,
in the good
not the
dirt.
sticky dirt. We don't want none of that sticky dirt. Get it out of here. Well, Aubrey, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll take a break, and when we come back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk, we'll have Vance, Aubrey from the UT Martin football team coming up next here on the other side of this break.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. We are outsized right now, Chris.
We are,
with the Boss Hogs, the offensive linemen. We've got Josiah, Tingley, and Vance Aubrey joining us on fall break. Again, just like I told Aubrey, thank you guys for joining us here on your day off. And I know that it was a good day as well, getting that victory on Saturday. But thank you all so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's fall break, not a lot of people here, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know what would be really fun is if you ask him the first couple of questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, perfect question. I have a great question that is not Skyhawk related.
Okay.
How about them Cowboys, Vance?
Oh.
Next question.
Took a big beat down in D-Town.
To my team.
Oh, you're a Lions fan.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been a Lions fan?
My whole family's from Michigan, so
Oh, okay.
Go Blue, we're Go Lions, we're all that. Sadly, Blue's not very good this year, but it's fun to be a Lions fan right
It
now.
is. It is very fun to be.
Well,
especially
since you took
on
the
Sunday.
shot, you get to ask him a
Yeah, you
question.
get
you can ask me
that.
Yeah.
A Martin football question here.
Josiah. Josiah, since you've been in Martin for 12 years now, what's your favorite place to eat in town?
You know, for
love
the
Zaxby's.
Zaxby's
gotta be
is
one.
on the
Zaxby's
list.
is always great. You
Yeah.
know, I come to
That's not
Zaxby's all the time.
Yeah. We love Zaxby's.
You know, sadly, even though it's closed down now, I used to love going to Fresh Start. Not a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah. No, I know.
I don't
live
remember
near
Fresh Start as well.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't go there, but recently with our Pizza de Roma runs, Pizza
Yeah.
de Roma's been growing on me.
Oh.
Good old Philly cheese from Pizza de Roma.
That is Ryan Rickman and Alex Boggis' favorite spot.
Yeah, so Pizza de Roma is probably my go-to right now.
Okay. All right. What's on the pizza though? What toppings are we getting other than the Philly cheese? If we're not getting Philly cheese,
If you get their calzone, it's just loaded with cheese and pepperoni, and they're heavy on their cheese, and I'm a fan of that. So.
he's a fan of the cheese. He is a fan.
Are
of the
you okay
cheese.
with pineapple on pizza?
I am. I love a good Hawaiian style pizza.
Yeah, you good with that?
Okay. Absolutely not. No, it does not belong on pizza. Absolutely not. No,
It's
no,
a healthier pizza is what it is. If it's got
healthier.
That's
Yeah. No, not healthier. It's disgusting. We'll get it out of here.
Maybe you should ask some real questions.
Yeah, we'll start. We'll start. So UT Martin gets the win over Western Illinois, wire to wire, 45-17. Guys, y'all helped offense rush for 306 yards, and then through the air 235. Vance, we'll start with you. 541 total yards of offense. What was going right for you guys?
Oh, man, we were running the football well. I think we had a really good game plan in. I don't know if a lot of people could tell, but I was actually out there pulling a little bit, which I haven't done this year at all. But we had a good game plan. We kind of watched some of the previous games and some of the weaknesses that they had they had a unique defensive front. And we really were able to attack them on the ground, and that opened up the pass game. That first drive was awesome. You know, we ran it once and then hit them with that shot play, and we knew it was going to be a good day.
And a couple really big plays. Josiah, 4 rushing touchdowns in this one. I know the offensive line run the ball. When y'all see a run play get called in from the sidelines, all right, let's go. It's time to move some bodies. How much fun was it to go out there and dominate the way that you guys did?
Oh, it's always a blast to have that kind of game where the run, like he said, the run game allowed the pass game to open up, because I'm always going to prefer when a run play is called, but it's nice when both of them are hitting and you can kind of get it for, like he said, that unique front kind of gave me a break on some pass plays. So it was pretty nice for me to get out there and know that the run game was there, and if we wanted to get to a pass to work on that, we had that option too. It was a fun time out there.
Now I want to go back to a play I think it was a Gardner-Webb game. Kincaid had a rushing touchdown, and you guys just kind of shoved him in right there. I mean, when you've got a quarterback like that that's willing to run, but then you get him down there and it's all right, maybe he's said something during the week that maybe y'all didn't like. It's like, all right, we're going to shove you in, and we're going to really make this one count, and you just give him that big push into the end zone. And what's it like with him at quarterback and that chemistry that you all have with your QB?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I really feel very comfortable with Kincaid back there. It's last year he was brand new to the offense, so believe it or not, a lot of the offensive linemen were making a lot of checks, like run to pass or pass to run. And then over the spring and into fall camp, like he's completely taken over the offense. And it's really amazing just to let him do that and just let us do what we do as far as blocking. So, but yeah, we always like to get a little shove in the back to score that ball in the end zone. So that was nice.
Yeah, this definitely, our game with KD has definitely evolved. I mean, we've been hanging out with him all fall break. He's kind of going for the Jets tonight, so I'm going to spend the night with him here watching that game. Yeah, we've definitely got a lot more trust for him, and even just this past week, and he got out of a pass play and got us to a run play to save the look to something more he liked, and we're like, we just appreciate that he's trying to do that rather than just let it ride and see what he can make out of it. And I appreciate the call last week. You made sure to highlight that I'm the one that got him in the end zone. I appreciated that call. There's a big push right there, and he called it out, and we got KD in the end zone against Gardner-Webb.
See, since my relationship has grown with you guys and the Boss Hogs as a whole, and Coach Bannon too, I've been like, all right, I got to get the boys in the trenches some more, even for the other team too, because y'all don't get that many calls, but you all's job is so incredibly important. I always say, and again, this is completely non-biased, it's the most important position I think on the football field is offensive line, because when that committee is rolling, I mean, you are a very good football team when those five in front are playing some good football. I mean, it just really is.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's kind of what we say. Like, we're the team within the team, and when we're rolling, like we feel like the team kind of looks to us for that extra shove, and like when we're rolling, like you said, the whole team's rolling. But yeah, we like our shout outs since our only stats are sacks given up. We like our shout outs over the air a little bit.
That's not fair.
And now some places stat pancakes. And I don't know if that's a possibility if we can stat pancakes, but I mean, it's sacks allowed is the only thing. And then I feel like I only see the grades for the offensive linemen at the end of the season. I'm like, where was this at during the year? The nice stat to talk about. But no, that's one of the stats I put down is, all right, sacks allowed, and it's like all conference preseason, two-time conference, and that's really about it. You can't say, okay, well, he's moved this body or this body, but it's really like when you look at that total rushing yards and total passing yards on the offense, you think, okay, that's because that offensive line up front is moving some bodies and they're doing some good work up front. And so talked about Coach Bannon, y'all's offensive line coach, and the mentality that he instills in some of you all. How is it to have him as a coach? And Coach Simpson's talked about so many times, just watching you all on film and the checks that you are making and the math you have to do in your head. I mean, he's really got you guys playing some good football.
Yeah, you take that one.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, in the film room, especially now, as the more he trusts us, the more he can pour knowledge into us of getting to the right looks. Especially now with Vance at center for the second year, he's allowed him to take control of a lot of things and get us to the right looks. And Coach Bannon just knows so much ball that he's able to add so many little things to our game that just help our run game so much. And it's just continuing to progress. It's been really nice, too, with having 2 new tackles after losing our tackles this past year. They've progressed so much throughout the year that we're putting together complete games like we have for the past 2 weeks, and I think we're going to be able to continue to do so.
And again, really good football game against Western Illinois. I mean, 4 for 4 in the red zone, 5 for 10 on third down. Really a complete win for you all's group. And I talked to you, Josiah, about it when we had you on. And just the relationship that you guys have off the field with your guys, with that group, and just with the team as a whole. How special is it in building up that chemistry here as the year goes on?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you can trust your teammates off the field and you hang out off the field and build that relationship, it's just going to pour over into the field. And I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but we all have a lot of trust for each other. I know if Joe looks at me on a certain look and says we need to do this, I can trust him enough and not have the ego to say no, do it my way, and the same way with Drake. So we really have it rolling on the interior, and then the offense as a whole, we're all tight. I love hanging out with my receivers and my running backs. Man, me and Cheeks have gotten super close. So just having that trust on and off the field, building those relationships, it's something that's going to pour over into the field. And it's also like lifelong relationships that you're going to have. So that's something that you can never have taken away from you. So
100%. You talked about Cheeks. He's fast. He's fast.
I think you jinxed him now because that's 4 times on the season that we're having to chase him down and run another play.
Yeah, no. Well, Vance and I were talking about before we got on that he had the run on the far side, went for 63 yards, and I saw someone chase him from behind. I was like, please don't get caught. Please don't get caught. Please don't get caught. But no, I mean, I've talked to Vance about it, though. He is a fast running back. He can get through the hole. I mean, it takes a fast guy to come over and bring him down, though. How nice is it? I mean, he's the leading rusher in the conference. I know you all take great pride in that, too. How much fun has it been to work with him as he gets in between the tackles and then he can break off those big runs, too?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, especially one of my favorite things about him is his in-game adjustments with us. Is he'll come over to the pit where we're all sitting and talk with us for a little bit, or even as we're running off to the sideline, he'll pull me to the side and we'll talk about a play. And I tell him what I'm seeing from a blocking perspective, even though I'm not the one running the ball, because he wants to know what we're seeing in the play, even though he's the one in the backfield, so he can pursue our blocks longer to try and set us up better. Yeah. So it opens up a lot for us when he's willing to do that and not just trust his own instincts.
And that's one thing, too, about a running back is that communication, too, with you guys. I mean, we talk about so much the quarterback, but, I mean, him being able to respect you all and be like, okay, hey, we got to go in this. What are you all seeing, too, and come over and talk with you all? Because you're opening up the holes for him, too. And, I mean, without you all, I mean, he probably doesn't get through there or anything like that. You got to be able to trust some other guys, communicate, even if it's without your position group, too, and get good communication. So, I mean, that is absolutely awesome. That's awesome to hear about Cheeks, who is the fastest running back I have ever seen in my entire life. I love you, Cheeks.
I thought he might get you when you decided that you could just hop on our bus after
I
the
know.
game.
Well, I know. So the story, I get on the bus after the game, and it was when we stopped at Love's, and I'm sitting there, and I don't think Cheeks recognized me or anything. He comes on that second time, and Coach Simpson, he goes, "Hey, Cheeks, you know who Davis is?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, we're not cool." And they kept walking to the back. Cheeks is the best running back.
That's the only conversation you've ever had with him?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's it. But no, Cheeks is the best running back I have ever seen in my life, and I mean that sincerely.
Now you're gonna have to get him on here.
Yeah,
I know.
Get him out of here.
He's the fastest.
That would be fantastic.
He's the fastest running back I have ever seen in my life, too. Well, guys, before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give here before we let you go? Any shout-outs?
Like on the whole team or just in general?
I mean, just in general.
Anything.
Fire anything.
Yes, I'd love to give a shout-out. So for any student athletes that are listening, we do FCA on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
At 7:30.
Got the shirt on.
Yeah.
Yes, representing.
We actually got some crew necks, which are awesome. But, as student athletes, our lives are crazy, and you're so heavily thinking about approval of of your coaches, of your teammates. And I just want to take this time to say that you can find true identity in Jesus. And I know from firsthand experience, he changed my life. So if you're sitting here listening to it, please come out. We'd love to talk about Jesus with you. And we just hang out and have a good time.
Next week's a great week to come out for your first time, too, because I think we're doing a s'mores cookout and just hang out after our devotion because the weather's finally right for it. So we'll probably be having s'mores and hot dogs next week over a little fire in the backyard.
We need to come out to that, Chris. We need to come out there.
Invited. You don't have to be an athlete.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, no athlete. And Chris and I are definitely not athletes. So
I have to ask, though, did you pay my parents to make a sign for you?
I did
because,
not.
I mean,
no.
They haven't made a sign for me in, I don't know, ever. In 1 week, they come out and they have a double-sided sign just so they can get you a sign.
I know. Well, so it was the flip sign. Josiah was on one side. I was on the other. Coach Simpson's threatening to, get rid of me, guys. Because Chuck goes on the road. We beat Kennesaw. Very happy about that. I was at a wedding, and then he said, "Well, the team's questioning your dedication and everything like that." Internally, I mean, oh man, this is bad stuff. This is not good. Vance and Josiah and these guys, they're doubting me. They're doubting me, and so no, I appreciate them defending me and being willing to put that sign. I gotta meet him. I gotta meet him. I need to. This next Eastern Illinois.
Eastern Illinois, they'll be here.
Okay, Eastern Illinois. I'll come down. I'll see him before the game starts. We'll get a sign for Chris too.
No, I don't need that. I'm good.
Guys,
my job is secure. I know what to say and what not to say.
Chris has tenure. That's the thing. Chris has tenure.
That's what I tell Vance about my job here too. I got tenure at the university.
He wants to use that even though I'm like 3 years older.
Love it. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Have a good rest of your fall break.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, head coach of the UT Martin football team, Jason Simpson, will join us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory here with Chris Brinkley. Final guest of the show, UT Martin football head coach Jason Simpson. Skyhawks with a win over Western Illinois 45-17 and head into the bye week. Coach, impressive win for your guys. A long road trip as well. And, I mean, completely dominated that game.
Yeah, the guys did. Very proud of the staff and proud for the players. And, the drive on the way back is never as long, right, when you play well. So so it was good to go on the road, conference game, and like I said, thought the coaches had a good game plan, and the players executed it. For the first 3.5 quarters again, and I apologize to the defense. And as a head coach, you're trying to get some of those guys on offense on the stat sheet. Some of them have been here several years, and and so. Normally in those situations you wouldn't throw the ball, and we did. And unfortunate pick, and we left our defense out there. But then we fumbled it again. Good job by our defense getting the stop. But I guess it was 45-3 there for a while, and probably could have gone for it on 4th and 2 when we took the field goal. But regardless, we wanted everybody to play and get a taste of everything.
And rushed for 306 yards, threw for 235, 541 total yards of offense. Coach, you go 4 for 4 in the red zone, and then 5 of 10 on third down. Another good third down percentage for this group, and just clicking on all cylinders.
Well, a couple things. One, credit to that offensive line and those backs, and receivers blocking. There's one that I'll probably get a call from the conference office where Rucker goes in there and whacks the safety. But big play, and ball comes out for one of the big runs by Cheeks. But no, it really was. Anytime this was kind of unique. These guys will tell you, Vance and Josiah, this was a unique, tight structure. We actually probably had more runs this week of new runs that we haven't had because of their structure. It wasn't just, the different zone and gap schemes, okay? There were some to get your math back, as we would say, there were some new runs, and several of them hit, and the guys did a good job with it. I thought, the little play action that we hit Max on, that's a big shot in the arm for us to flip the field. So I thought Kincaid, did some good things and took care of the ball, and receivers made a couple plays for him. And, when we're able to run the ball like that and then be efficient in the pass game, I think we got a pretty good football team.
Western Illinois held to 40 yards rushing on the ground defensively. Jalen Sharp leads the team in tackles again, also tackle for a loss. Devontae Murray has a forced fumble. And Coach JaMichael McGoy has been a guy that I feel like is one of the more improved players on the defense. 3 pass breakups in this game. What have you seen from J. Mike overall on this season?
Well, I tell you what, I thought he played well. Okay, you're right about that. I think, he's not the biggest guy. He's always been fast. And he's had to learn he has to play on the edge. When I say on the edge, of a chip on his shoulder, like that's how we're built, okay? But he's had to learn how to do that, but yet, control his emotions, control his play with technique. I mean, you have to be able to do all that and still, out there with something to prove. And he's done a better job with that this year, being able to, not just let a couple plays get away from him because of, because of receivers jawing at him. No, that's just part of it. Okay, be able to take it. So if you're going to give it back, okay, that's fine. Don't make a big scene about it. But be able to line up and play the next play and play it efficiently. Mm-hmm. And so that's.
How do you teach that? Do you show them on tape? Yeah. How do you teach that?
I don't think there's a when you got Vance and Josiah, that's pretty easy, right? They're more
emotionally even,
even keel, right? Yeah. Intellectual, like we talked about the math they have to do every week, and they know that's their strength. Mm-hmm. But it takes some players get it, some players don't. They say this is how I play. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, so listen, some people live their life with logic, some people live their life with emotion.
Yeah.
It's no different than athletes. But what you want is that nice balance, because sometimes either could get you in a little bit of trouble. You can overthink things, or you can be too emotional and get yourself, like you said, be totally out of the game because you're focused on the wrong things.
And we're all different. You're right. I mean, you'll see me some games that, I get emotional, especially with the officials, when I feel like I'm trying to fight for a call or fight for our players. But I also know, I tell my guys, I said, I've never gotten a penalty in 19 years. Okay.
That's right.
So
yeah, that's right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, you act like that's a surprise.
There have been some moments where maybe you can't do anything right.
And we'll get to you in a second, by the way. We're still talking about the game. Okay.
But no, that's right. And you've been pretty fired up at times.
But
you've never crossed the line.
You got to know where it is, know when to turn the volume back down, know the body language of an official when he's had enough, okay, without him saying anything, and most importantly, never hurt the team.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And some players, it takes a while to grow into that. And we've got some other guys on our team that, that have some gamesmanship and talk a lot throughout the games. Some you don't really know because they do a good job of not taking away from the game, not taking away from their, of the next snap. Okay, and then there's some that, and I just think J. Mike's done a nice job being able to grow into a more mature player, and he's making some nice plays for us.
Coach, when you played, were you ever a trash talker? You ever throw some words around?
No, I was never really good enough to do that. I was just glad to be.
I actually didn't know he had trash talking in him until he met you.
Well, yeah, I forgot.
See, he brings it out in me.
I forgot to mention it's
all right. A couple of things. All right,
15-yard penalty.
All right, let's get to
Simpson.
this.
There's your first one right there.
Two things, right?
Oh goodness.
One,
everybody
I
just
was told me, that I believe Vance and Josiah were in high school when you were in junior high. Okay, so I'm very impressed. You're the professionalism that you show as you interview them.
Thank you.
You could hold grudges because maybe how they treated you in middle school. So glad you guys were good to him, Vance. Okay, all right. But here's the thing.
Number one.
I told you on the bus the other day.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, Chris, he rode the bus with us. Chris has always, been, with the elite and administration. He's never been on the bus with us.
Right.
Okay?
I hitchhike home.
Okay, but he got on the bus.
Yeah.
Okay, and I said, you know what? He sat up there by me. Okay. And I'm like, look at you, man. You're down, you're in the trenches with us. He's like eating off the floor. Coach,
I am eating off the floor.
We stop at we stop at Love's, right? It's midnight. Everybody's going there and eating gas station hot dogs. You're talking about the
not
men.
good on the bus.
It's a great memories, and it's just galvanizes your football team. Okay, so I was really proud of him for being one of the guys.
Yes.
Then
what?
I get in here and I find out that Alex gets here only like 15 minutes after we do. Okay, as he drives, which. You could have been with him, helping him drive, okay? But you just took the chariot and you slept up there in the front seat.
Oh, this is great. This is good.
And so I'm apologizing to Alex about that for you. I'm like, really? I didn't realize that you were only getting here, just a little bit after us. But then they tell me, when they drive, you get in the back seat like a little kid and watch your iPad and take a nap while they're driving. So I don't know if it helps either way.
He's playing games on it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'll take my +1 with my -2 on that one. I'll take my win.
Look, if I'm going to have your back, there is some stipulations.
Okay.
I mean,
do you have a driver's license?
I do.
Okay.
We're not going to look at the pictures. We're not going to look at my picture on my driver's license. But
that's probably why he would have. He was like, well, I can't drive anyway.
Right. Is it a learner's permit or a driver's license?
Yeah. So
is it a hardship license?
No, it is. It's the real deal.
Graham has one in Westview now.
That's right.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
I'm actually joining. I got to stop this. I got to hang out with him all the time.
Chris, listen, Chris.
Come over with us, Chris. Come over here. He's a good target.
I'm eating off the floor, though. I was ready to go.
He did tell me, he said that your post-game meal was from McAllister's.
Yeah.
And he said the sandwich was bigger than he was.
It was.
Chris Bell does a good job.
He
with
does.
That and feeds these guys, and I appreciate. God, I don't know. I mean, y'all know because you're around, and it's what we do. Okay, but I don't know. What would we take? 110 people on this trip?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got coaches that are leaving out of there, going recruiting, driving different places, catching flights and stuff because they're all out recruiting this week with the open week. All right, so I really appreciate Chris Bell. He gets us to the game. Okay, and these are contracts and bids and stuff, and thankful for Donnell and the different staff that they do to help us. Okay, so the bids got to go out. You got to get the hotel. As you know, we had to stay an hour from where we're staying because we have to go to a restaurant, a hotel that's full service that can feed our guys because you don't want to, okay, we don't mind going to, I know you go to Roast Chris, but we go to Golden Corral and stuff right on some Friday nights. Okay, yeah. I know you go out with, with Kurt and Mike Ford and those guys. Okay, but so to be able to get 110 people to travel, stay in the hotels, and you got the room, and be organized because you only get 12 games, right? There's only 48 quarters that we work all year round, so you're trying to limit the distractions for the players. and we've got walkthroughs, so you got to have meeting rooms and stuff. And then you got to get us there. Everything's got to be set up. Him and Peyton, Peyton, what he does for us, in the equipment room and stuff. So I really wanted to say I appreciate those guys. Every win that we get are a part of. They're a huge part of it as well. Okay, and Kurt when AD rode on the bus or rode with Mike Ford.
He did.
Okay,
yeah.
and
he wasn't in the trenches.
Well, I can't. I'm not going to let you take credit for that. In this situation, this is a learning experience for you. Okay. The trenches would have been to ride back with Alex and grind it out and help him drop. That's the trenches. Okay, you kind of. On 4th and 1 through a fade route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the 4th and 1. Well, you didn't really get under your pads and run through it right there, but it's okay.
What are some of the unspoken bus rules that have?
Oh, goodness.
I bet there's some good ones, and we are on camera.
Now you know what? It's changed since back in the day.
Okay.
Used to. Okay. And we, back when 06 and 7 and 8 and stuff, right, there was the head coach member. We've talked about this before on the air. I picked out the movies.
Yeah.
Right, because there was no satellite TV or anything. So 6-hour bus trips, that was a 3-movie trip.
Would you go to a video store?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, go to a video store and pick out enough movies to get home.
Yeah, no, remember? And,
yeah.
And I would take Ty with me when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
My son. And, we'd pick out those movies, and that, it might be Top Gun, might be Major League, Rudy, all those classics and stuff. And then, the kids would be in the back. Some of them, come on, Coach, we got to watch this one again, blah, blah, blah. And then that kind of got passed on to Julius McNair. Remember when he was a young coach for us and he did it. So the rules were don't leave I think I still got an account I had to pay for down there at the movie store. Don't leave the movies on the bus.
Yeah.
That's happened, that's happened a lot. The head coach always sits in the front seat. One thing it's been cool over the years is, both my boys when they were young, would go on those road trips with me, stay in the hotel, and that was a big thing to Ty that we were, it was UT Martin, Alabama, Notre Dame. That's how it was. And, and that's and then my father-in-law, before he passed, remember, he would go, Ralph Wilkerson would go with us. And it was just real proud to look over there and see him sitting in the chair and Randy Barnes and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the rules on the bus was, right, I DVR'd all the games, and there was nothing better for me to be on the road to Eastern Kentucky, get a big win, coming back, and then when I got home, I may stay up and watch all the other games, get some ideas first and foremost, right? But that was kind of my entertainment and
you could watch your games coming home too, right? Or
yeah, we watch them. Sometimes we grade the tape and different things.
Yeah.
And I would tell Randy Barnes, don't tell me the scores of any games. I'm gonna watch them when we get home.
Yeah.
And I'd get on the bus, and Randy would come up to me. He'd say, "Coach, can you believe that Alabama score?" That Florida game.
That is so real.
He'd be like, that Florida game, that was a crazy one, too.
They won by 3.
Yeah, won by 3. So that was another rule on the bus. But now, getting back to look at Kevin Bannon, who played for us. And now, he's very respectful, and I appreciate this, but he doesn't have to. He's earned this right. He'll say, Coach, you mind if Knox, his oldest son, can he go? And I'll say, absolutely. I'll be mad at you if you don't.
Yeah.
Take advantage of these opportunities to spend this time, because when you work with somebody else, they may not let you do this. Okay, but this is how we do it. Brandon Butcher, our defense coordinator, his wife, and she's awesome, and she brings Kyle out there to practice to see his dad and stuff and run around. That's how I always dreamt of the program to be, even when I got here, because that's what we did with our kids.
Yeah,
and so.
And I think that was it helped Ty because he knew that life, like he's living that life, like this is what he grew up doing, because he was so comfortable and well behaved and knew what it was like to travel with the college football team when he was young, when he was 6 or 7 years old.
There's probably some things that I didn't want him to learn in that locker room. That's probably part of it too. But you remember we went to Boise the first time, and Gardner Anderson, who plays on our UTM baseball team now, he was friends with Ty, and he had saved his money. Okay, and remember Phil Dane sold seats on that charter flight with us. Remember Van Swain went. I think Joe Exum might have went as well. But Gardner had saved us $300 in plane tickets. So Doug, his dad, bought one too, and they went to the game. So as usual, because Ty would always run out on the field with us before the game, and that was something he and I will always have memories. So obviously Gardner wants you to come with us, okay? So Gardner's so fired up and he's ready to go. We're at Boise State, right, the blue turf, okay? And normally, like when you get there, right, whether it be a football ops guy like Chris Bell will say, hey, we're supposed to go out at 2 minutes or 4 minutes, and I'll say, nope, we're not going until 3 or whatever. And they usually, the opponent usually has an administrative person right there telling you when to go, because you never want the teams coming on the field at the same time and stuff like that. Well, I don't know what happened, but Gardner kind of got a little bit confused, and he takes off. I don't know if y'all remember that. He takes off, and he's like 20 yards in front of the team. The team hasn't left yet.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's running out there, whatever Boise Stadium is. He's got his UTM jersey on. He's skinny. I can't remember how old Gardner was then. And then he turns around and looks, and the whole team's nobody's behind him, But I think Doug's got a picture
That
of it.
is hilarious. I did not know that. We
yeah.
were 14 stories high, so we couldn't even see the players much less.
You got to find it.
That's fantastic.
I'm pretty sure Doug's got it.
We need to play that during a baseball game. During a baseball game, we need to show that coming back from a break.
But no, I appreciate it. You've always, even with your job, family is first. And even when we had the old Skyhawk talk at Snappy Tomato Pizza, I mean, your family, I met every Monday.
Every Monday. Because
I watched Ty grow up.
Because that was, remember, Chris, I mean, during the week, that was the time I got to see them, before I went back to practice. So, and Emma was little, and it's kind of surreal to see her at UT Martin now and going to school and stuff. But no, that's part of the reasons over the years that, that I've been appreciative of being able to be the head coach here for so long. And when there's been other opportunities, I've got so many good memories here and stuff. It would just, didn't seem appropriate.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
100%.
I appreciate you being a part of it.
Yes.
And welcome to us.
This young pup gets to ride the bus now.
I did.
When I get to be about 65, though, is he going to be able to handle me? He's going to probably put it in his contract. No more Zaxby's.
No more Zaxby's.
Coach is he's an ornery old man. I can't go over there anymore.
I'll put my stipulations. The podcast must be edited to take out Coach Simpson's jokes.
Now he is learning stuff now. He's like, get days off when I want. Right? I already talked about that.
Yeah.
I get back to Martin the quickest way I can get. No matter
you're savvy, man.
You're smarter than what you're.
I know.
I'm very impressed.
I know.
Wait till I see Dr. Robinson though.
Oh.
Because every time he brags on you, and I say you're right, but
comma, yeah.
But
so I'm gonna say, did y'all have a business class that y'all taught? Did y'all have a business ethics class in communication?
And that's where it got me. I know my ideas now. That's what it is. So you enter the bye week. I want to talk about a few other guys though before we move on to that. Kincaid in that game, 4 total touchdowns for you all, and rushing the ball has been very good for him in these past 2 games, and running that RPO, and teams now see him as a threat. And then Patrick Smith, fastest running back I've ever seen. Again, 17 carries, 145 yards, and a touchdown for him. And Max Dowling, the 2 touchdowns as well.
No, good. I'm very pleased with Max. Davis, that was a nice play that our coaches schemed up, and good play action, and to find him up the sideline, and then another big play that he had was, he's basically the third read, and Kincaid got through it and found him, and he got up the sideline for a big first down. So I was pleased with that, and the holes these guys opened up, the 5 offensive linemen, Smithberger at the tight end, and receivers blocking. Cheeks has been, very reliable and efficient.
Very fast.
I thought it was going to get ugly at the Love Station, and I kind of instigated a little bit.
He did. He instigated.
I said, Cheeks, have you met Davis before? Yeah, I don't like him.
And then went to the back. We didn't even get to talk about it. I didn't get to reconcile.
But very professional by Davis here.
Yeah.
Okay, handled it good. Maybe made a friend at the end of it.
Okay.
Now, you didn't really have a choice. Okay, because it could end it ugly for you.
It could have.
But I admire that about you. Okay,
I stood there.
You're some people say, well, I'm a man of principles. I couldn't know. you're a man of principles. You understand what you're dealing with. So that's impressive.
And I learned a lesson in one of our first episodes of this year that what talk is cheap and action is expensive. There we go.
Let's go.
There we go. I'm learning now.
But so I was glad he didn't snatch you out of your seat.
No.
And you handled it good. I think he realizes that you're a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge fan of Cheeks. Huge fan of all of our guys. Again, would never say that was a joke. Would never say that as a mean thing. Just joking around with him. And love Cheeks. Cheeks is great.
Cheeks is a good player.
We're going to have him on the show, or is that impossible?
I should have got him here today.
we could get him here. Well, maybe next week. We'll see about it. We'll see about
hopefully he'll have, it'd be very much a feather in his cap and our programs and Kevin Bannon's as the offensive, the guy that handles our run game. If we get Cheeks to 1,000 yards, that'd be 4 years in a row of a 1,000-yard rusher, which is kind of the Mendoza line of considered, and that would be 4 different running backs.
Wow. And that's back-to-back. If he's able to finish it off back-to-back years of having the leading rusher in the conference as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So, but no, very, very, very. Like I said, that goes back to Kevin Bannon. That goes back to the guys that block for him. And the different schemes that we put in each week.
So now the bye week, and important to get rest, not only for the players, but you all as coaches rest mentally and everything as well. And how do you all balance, I know, the recruiting and resting, but also keeping the guys in a rhythm too? How do you balance that during this week?
Yeah, that is I think every team's different. I think there's been some years where I said, no, we're going to grind during this, and I've never done more than 3 days of practice, okay? But there's been sometimes you limped into that open week, depending on where it was in the season. When I say limped, maybe just not playing very well. Okay, so there's got to be a balance this week. I mean, these two guys right here, Vance and Josiah, they get a lot of reps during the week. Okay, and this week was a big pull play for our center, and because he did a great job with it, and he probably got at least 30 of those contacts during the week. Okay, to make that play go. And he's such a good player and good teammate. Like, he knew that back needed to see him kick the guy, the backer that was outside of we were tray blocking up with a tight end tackle, center pull kicks, and the back's fitting in between that. And, and he can't just go out there and practice and just kind of, hey, tag, because it doesn't look the same for the back. Okay? So, the practices this week are for the big guys. What I mean by that is, tomorrow I'm not going to let these guys have any contact. Okay, but there's so many different things we can do to improve our footwork and our fundamentals and stuff. Because if you don't have the right first step, right, or the hand placement or hat placement, okay, the play's going to fall apart anyway. And I know they'll be physical, okay, but yet that's how this game. So, they won't have any contact tomorrow, but the younger players will. Yeah. The players that didn't play a lot in the game, and then the younger guys, they'll be in shoulder pads and full gear because we're wanting to develop them, see who's going to play more for us next year. So those things got to happen. So, and then, maybe into practice on Wednesday, and then most of practice on Thursday will be trying to get a day ahead of Eastern Illinois, who plays this week. Do they, or are they off?
Are they off Saturday?
I don't know.
Question.
I can't remember. I think they may be off as well. Yeah. But you're still working off the last 4 or 5 games that they played, because then our players will be off again Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then go back to normal week on Monday.
And you mentioned last week just that mental rest is
they need it. Those guys need to sit there and talk and not be hurried, ready to get to practice and stuff like that. They need a little break. Maybe it doesn't hurt us, but I do like it some years when we have our open week and fall break on a different week.
Okay. Yeah.
Now where it hurts you is cafeteria's not open. Okay, so if we had a game this week, then I got to make sure I can feed these guys on, I need you to stay because I got to, I want you to lift on Monday morning, so I got to feed you on Sunday and on Monday. So that can kind of be an ordeal. So, there's pros and cons both ways, but this year it hit on the same week.
So heading to Knoxville this weekend, Ty's game against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And now, you've had your connections and you've had your roast of Davis Gregory. I know some people up there who can make it a really fun and an easy trip, and I know some people that can get after you. So, hey.
So I just don't think that the crowd that got after me last time we went there 2 years ago, I don't think you could have moved the needle either way, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
Good or bad.
No,
what a crazy game 2 years ago up there. Knoxville got the big win, and they're good. They're good. We on the bus, right, we kept ourselves busy by watching them in Florida, and at home they're hard to handle. They got a great defense and running the ball real well. So Bama certainly got their hands full.
What is that like? Look, you're another team's coach. You're a dad.
Yeah, it's hard.
You love and know football. What are you even focused on when you're watching that game?
On the bus, you're just kind of being a fan, but yet you can't help but notice, are they in 4 down or are they in odd? Was that 1 high safety or 2 high safety? Was that a zone play or a gap scheme? You've done it for too many years not to see that and stuff. But there's some things that are fun, like I know on Sunday, Ty in his prep with his coaches and stuff, they start the next opponent. So I'm always looking for different ideas and different spins of different things. Matter of fact, 2 plays we scored on, the 1 touchdown to Max, okay, Knoxville ran that play earlier in the year. Okay.
Very nice.
And the other play, Northern Illinois ran
against
earlier.
Notre Dame?
No, It actually was against Western Illinois.
Oh, okay, yep.
Okay. So we're all copycats in some form.
Do you always have them pad and pencil, or do you just remember?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I'll whether if I can't take a picture of it, somehow to remember, because you forget a bunch.
Because there's so many in your head.
And I think I've got almost 3,000 videos on my phone of, video and that, and I try to send it to the staff. So so anything you can do to get a first down. But but it was kind of neat yesterday. Talked to Ty, as I looked at some of the things Florida did. Okay, because I liked some of their reduced splits, run game stuff. Well, they're playing Knoxville. Okay. And so, Ty, what did your coaches tell you about their structure, their good play and stuff? So that was kind of neat to be able to kind of compare notes and different things, even though, we don't play the same people.
So the week off, we wish you a good week of rest.
What are you doing this week?
Yeah, I got volleyball this weekend. Yeah. Obviously watch football. Watch a lot of football and just chill out, relax,
Well,
get the rest. I told Chris my knee was bothering me after the bus ride. So,
Chris, I did not know this. He told me this on the bus. And quit being soft with your knee, by the way. Okay, but
I need to see Bart.
No, you're not allowed to see Bart. You're not allowed. Hey, I did not realize that he did all the other sports. I mean, and our coaches the same way. They know that. I know they got their own season, and sometimes we'll pass each other in the hallway, and they'll say, "Who do y'all play this week?" And I say, "Who do you play?" I never take offense to that, because everybody is responsible for their own sport, and even though we all have a good working relationship. But I did not realize that Davis did whatever. And I said, Chris never had to do that. When he was in the spot, so.
Yes, Chris got cut. Yes.
No, well, actually,
Valid point.
I just
no, that's right.
Maybe just a little bit more maturity. You knew, okay, I didn't have time to do that. I don't know what it was, and they suckered him in to keep him busy 6 days a week. Hey, we need you to come over here. I need you to do the soybean festival. They got some beauty pageants. I need you to come do the Martin Middle School.
Yeah, keep him busy.
That's what's great about being young. You got all this
energy.
energy.
I got the energy. I got the juice. I've got the juice.
And I think you and Ty will probably be single till you're both about 30. Okay, so you got no social life. That's okay. I mean, I appreciate you're married to your
30.
work.
I'll take you over on that.
Married to the game.
There you go. To all the games.
Well, Mom heard that comment. I mean, Mama Bear doesn't. She's like, listen, I don't want 30 years of him. So, and she's coming Eastern Illinois week, so you better watch your back.
She and I need to have a meeting.
Okay.
Well, all right. Good.
All right.
She'll know that I've only got your best interest in heart.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't live on this side of the state.
Okay.
And I feel responsible to help turn you into a man.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Wow, we
Mom,
should
don't
end
buy
on
it.
that
Don't
one.
buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy
So
it.
just know that we'll keep a lookout on him, and we'll keep him humble, and that I just feel obligated to do that.
Okay. All right. Don't buy it, Mom. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Coach, thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining us.
guys.
We'll let
Thank
you get
you.
out of here.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back here on Skyhawk Sports Talk, wrapping up another episode of This Week in Skyhawk Athletics and Skyhawk Sports Talk. Lots of great events coming up here on UT Martin's campus. We've got soccer. There's senior day coming up here in a couple weeks. We've got volleyball at home this week. Cross country is running. They've got the OVC championships. They're going to be right here in Martin towards the end of the month. Don't make sure to not miss out on that. But Chris, yet another great show. Alex, he tattletaled on me.
That's
Tattletale
right.
Alex. That's what it is. But no, great show with Coach Simpson, Aubrey, Vance, Josiah, and really a fun one again.
Yeah, and again, a lot going on. Go to utmsports.com, support the Skyhawks on social media. And Davis, we do have a lot coming up, and we'll be back at Zaxby's a week from today.
Yes, a week from today. So for Chris Brinkley and all of our guests today, I'm Davis Gregory saying God bless from Zaxby's in Martin, Tennessee.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.